Welcome back! You know, I've heard people say that the way to a woman's heart is through her stomach, but this is ridiculous. We need to get rid of those nanites, though, because they are guarding the entry to the duodenum, and since they are guarding them, I guess that means we need to go in there, because that's how adventure games work, after all. Yeah, it's around here that you really start to feel this hints that are left out thing, because there are a bunch of things where you're just going to be doing things where I at least think is the only real way you could possibly discover what you're supposed to be doing by trying every possible combination of items and stuff.
A feather? When, rather, if you get the chance, you'll have to quiz Stellar about her dietary habits.
I guess she ate a live chicken or something? I don't know. Still, might be useful. And it isn't the weirdest thing we're going to find in Stellar's innards, that's for sure. What's this?
Loosely woven into the stomach lining is a piece of celery string. That stuff could be used to make steel-belted radial tires stronger. Rumor has it that it was the original inspiration for dental floss. I think I saw that on one of those James Burke shows.
That's interesting, I guess. What he is implying, though, is that this stuff is quite strong. And since there's a lot of it, it might make a good rope. This appears to be a staple.
How odd! A bent staple. And thus far it has resisted being dissolved by the stomach's acids, probably because of its location and Stellar's apparent lack of oral nourishment during her captivity. The acid probably hasn't risen high enough since this item found its way in here. What in the hell was she doing eating a staple anyway? Maybe it was some fad diet thing in the Galactic Inquirer.
Maybe she ate the Galactic Inquirer. Because as a magazine, it would probably have staples in it. I'm assuming it's a magazine anyway. Well, Roger may be a janitor, but I'm guessing this is the first time he's ever cleaned the inside of someone's stomach.
Dang, these look tasty. Boy, that micro Prozac she inhaled slowed her systems down to a crawl. These things haven't been touched by stomach acid yet.
Yep, it seems that the stomach is not very active at the moment.
You acquire a candy.
Which is a good thing for those nanites, because their description said they were stomach acid shy, so I'm guessing they'd be dissolved if we could get the acid to rise high enough. And normally, what might cause stomach acid to rise would be food. For instance, a candy. Let's see what happens.
Interesting. The acid rises, but just not quite high enough to submerge those nanites.
Maybe we can try that again.
You acquire a candy.
You can only take one at a time, by the way.
I already have one.
Interesting. The acid rises, but just not quite high enough to submerge those nanites.
Well, it had exactly the same effect. Being the scientist...
You acquire a candy.
Being the scientist that I am, I want to know if this experiment is repeatable.
Interesting. The acid rises, but just not quite high enough to submerge those nanites.
It is! I don't know if there's actually any point for throwing all three of them in. You don't get any extra points for it or anything, but anyway, I like doing it. Well, since we can't go out through here, I guess the only other way to go would be through here, into the esophagus. But how can we get there? Well, we picked up some rope, which we might be able to use to climb. Okay, actually it's celery, but anyway. Sort of like rope. But how can we get the rope attached to the esophagus? Well, maybe we can use this staple as a hook. Now we have a grappling rope.
That's your makeshift grappling hook.
So let's see if we can attach that. Nice shot.
Nice shot.
Oh, I beat you to it, Mr. Narrator.
That's your mate.
Yes, okay. Let's climb up. Guess we could go back out through the mouth or something. I know, maybe we can climb up to her mouth and then tickle her uvula, and then she'll sneeze us out. You know, like a whale in King's Quest 4. No, that's not actually what's going to happen. What the hell? Is that a Twinkie?
A large hunk of Twinkoid cake food product is hanging just below her epiglottis. It appears to have gotten jammed on the way to her stomach for digestion. Doesn't this woman chew?
Apparently not.
This is the lower part of the esophagus. Just below this is the stomach. Check out the lungs on this girl. You don't get an opportunity like this every day.
And it has got to be some kind of innuendo. Also, I don't think Roger can actually see her lungs from here.
What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen an esophagus before?
Not from this angle. You know what I think? I think that this Twinkie would actually have a rather larger effect on the pool of stomach acid were it to be dropped in there than those M&Ms had. Maybe enough to rise it high enough to get rid of those nanites. Let's see if we can dislodge it. I guess the answer to that is no. Roger is not heavy enough in his tiny form. And there are some weird things behind us here.
These are the trachea and bronchi. That's where the lungs hook in.
Aha!
Those appear to be the aorta and the vena cava. Who knew this was going to be so much fun? At least I think that's what they are. I've never been much of an artery man myself.
We're learning a lot today.
What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen...
Up we go! Oh, I don't think we can actually go any further. So that rules out the whole mouth-tickling uvula idea.
This is the upper part of the esophagus. The larynx branches off from here, winding its way down to the bronchi and the lungs. Looking above, you see some sort of medical equipment blocking the way to the mouth. Looks like that's not an option for an escape route.
Aha, that explains it. We can't go up because something is blocking the mouth. Too bad. She might have had some silver fillings or something. Would have been a way to get silver, maybe? Who knows, perhaps? Looked like a pill is blocking her larynx. Stuck in her larynx, anyway.
It's one of those tiny timed release pills. As I recall, these are designed to not melt down and release their medicines until they've gotten to an area past the stomach.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that's very uncomfortable for Stellar, so let's try and dislodge it. And down it goes. And now it's stuck behind the Twinkie. Can we pick up the pill?
That wouldn't prove fulfilling.
No. Can we eat the pill?
Hey, don't put your mouth on that.
I didn't think so. Not really our skill, now is it? Seems that we aren't heavy enough to dislodge the Twinkie. So I guess we need to get Stellar to do the work for us. Get her to swallow or something. And you know what just might do the trick? This is one of those things that you probably only would figure out by just trying every single possible thing. Using the feather on her esophagus. Actually, what happens if you just use the hands on them?
It wouldn't be prudent.
Nothing, okay. Figured maybe they'd give you a hint if you tried it that way, but no. You have to use the feather. Uh-oh! It's an earthquake, or a stellar quake, or I don't know. Yikes, is that normal? It's interesting, because actually, now that I think of it, Stellar has forehead ridges, so she's probably not human, but her anatomy seems to be exactly the same as a human. And there go the nanites, drowned in a lake of stomach acid. Takes care of those buggers. So now we can go out through the duodenum. Considering where that leads, though, I think the real question is, would we want to? Oh, there's a pill. It did not dissolve, because, well, like the narrator said, it was designed to dissolve in an area past the stomach, not in the stomach itself. Fortunately, the acid went back down, so we can actually safely go through here.
It's one of those tiny timed release pills.
Can we do something with it now?
An interesting idea. What are you up to, Roger?
Nothing much, just wanted to see what would happen. I guess if we want to do something with that pill, we'll have to figure out what to do with it. For one thing, at this point it's a bit vague. Let's head into the duodenum. This just keeps getting grosser and grosser, doesn't it?
This is the upper area of the duodenum. Matter preprocessed from the stomach enters here through the pylorus above. It has a lovely bile-colored decor, and for a very good reason. This is the area in which raw processed ingestibles are mixed with a variety of secretions for further breakdown.
Further breakdown, such as the breakdown of that pill, I guess. Maybe if we can get some of those secretions, we could break that pill down further. I guess we'll have to explore this new part of the duodenum in the next video.